Cheap VPSs. You've gone online, you're looking for cheap VPSs. You keep seeing the same names, but are they actually cheap VPSs? Most of the cheap VPSs you see online are actually based on affiliate revenue. It's not actually cheap VPS. It's just to get you to click on the link and earn an affiliate. So that's why I've created this list of real cheap VPSs. At least according to me, these are cheap VPSs, and if I'm lying, you can go to the comment and call me out. So the first one I want to start with is Hetzner. Hetzner is a German VPS provider. They provide dedicated servers as well. So let's look at the prices and see if they're actually cheap or not. So just click there on cloud. And if you scroll down, we can click there, see all plans. So let's look at the shared VPS. This is the one that you probably are interested in. And you can get Intel or AMD. Let's click on Intel first. And you can see 2 virtual CPUs, 4 GB of RAM. That is 379 euros. This is roughly 4 USD. You can confirm that for yourself. You can look at the others. You see, this is definitely much cheaper than the other VPSs you've seen. So this is not based on some discount where you have to buy for the whole year. No, this is a monthly price. This is what you pay every month. And also, it's important to note that Hetzner started charging 50 cents for IPv4. You can add that to that and you'll get your monthly pricing. AMD prices as well. You can see that's the AMD 2 GB memory and 2 GB CPU. So come here and confirm. I'm just showing you the list. Come and look at what you're getting. If you want dedicated CPUs as well, you can get that dedicated CPU. And this is a dedicated VPS, not a dedicated server. If you have any questions about this, you can always ask in the comments below, or you can reach out on bizanosa.com. The next one I want to look at is also another European company, and Contabo is one that is a bit contentious because Contabo doesn't have the best reviews online. But I've hosted for a few clients on Contabo, and at least for my servers, I didn't see some of the problems that some people were seeing. Maybe because they were just small websites, but they were running in a production environment. They were publicly accessible. They didn't go offline as often as other people said, which I don't know. I find that hard to believe that the servers go offline often, but it depends on where you are, right? But let's just look at the prices and see what you can get on Contabo. So let's go to Cloud VPS. And on Cloud VPS, for 3 virtual CPUs, 8 GB of RAM, that's 4 euros. This, for what you're getting, 4 euros is actually pretty affordable. Over there as well, you see 6 virtual CPUs, 12 GB of RAM, that is 6 euros, right? So you can see pretty affordable compared to some of the lists you've seen online. So you just click there and look at the different products that they offer. Cloud VDS, these are dedicated. If you want to work with dedicated CPUs, you don't want to share the CPU with other people, then you can get the VDS. You can get the Cloud VDS. This is how much they charge for the VDS. This will be dedicated to you. It will not be shared by other people on the same server. The next VPS provider is one you probably never heard of. Netcup doesn't have an affiliate program. That's probably why you've never heard of it. But if you have, you know that they provide some of the most affordable servers. It's a European company. They have data centers in Europe and America. If I'm not wrong, you have to confirm that. So let's look at some of the servers that they do provide. So web hosting, let's come here under server and look at virtual server. Now the vServer, you can get Intel or AMD, and you can also get the ARM processors. You can get the root server. This is a dedicated VPS. This is essentially a dedicated VPS. We are going to look at that in a while, but let's start with x86 and see how much this costs. So virtual servers VPS, that is a V server. This is 2 virtual cores, 2 GB RAM, that is €3. So when it comes in this, I can say that the Hetzner offer was better for Intel, at least. That was 2 GB and 4 GB RAM. That was better on Hetzner. So for the 4 virtual core and the 4 GB RAM, but you can also see that you're getting more storage. Let's confirm that 64 GB there, 64 GB on Hetzner, you're getting 40 GB. So you can see, but it's also important to know that this is SSD, the other one is NVMe. This is not explicitly NVMe. NVMe is faster. So one that impresses me a lot is the root server. The root server prices very, very friendly. Let's look at the prices for that. If you need a dedicated virtual CPU, I don't think there's anything better than this. 8 GB of RAM and 4 virtual CPUs. So 4 CPUs, 8 GB dedicated to you at €8. Let's confirm what Hetzner offers for the same or roughly the same. So dedicated CPU, here you'll pay for 2 CPUs and that is 8 GB of RAM. So you can just tell that this is much better. This is actually a much better offer than the one on Contabo and Hetzner, for dedicated at least. And you're also getting 256 GB NVMe SSD. So I could say that this is the best offer so far. And the reason why you don't hear about it is probably because they don't have an affiliate program. So affiliates don't really care. They don't want to tell you about something they're not getting any value from. So that is probably why. So the next one I want to go to is Vultr. And Vultr is also another contentious because it's really not cheap. Okay, if you come to Vultr and compare it with all the other VPSs we've looked at, it is the most expensive. So why is it on this list? It is on this list for the people that want to run HPC. Let's say you want to run HPC workloads, you want to run machine learning workloads, any AI related workloads that require GPUs. So let's come to the products. Let's come to cloud GPUs. Let's look at what they offer for that. They're usually priced on an hourly basis. Okay, the prices are not there. Okay, let me go back to pricing, and I want to look at the GPU pricing. So high performance. Okay, so we are starting there. Cloud compute. Let's look at CPU optimized cloud GPUs. There we go. Let's click on this and see. So you'll get 2 GB of GPU RAM, 248 virtual CPUs. That is $4 per hour. So that is also $2 per hour, roughly $3 per hour. So if you wanted to test something for a few hours, then this is definitely better because you're paying on an hourly basis. You're not paying for the full month. Yeah, these are the ones that are slightly older NVIDIA GPUs. So you can see for that, for this is actually pretty affordable. If you have something small that you want to test on a GPU, you can come here, get one of these older GPUs, and you can see the prices for that are quite affordable. For the other items as well, you can look at how much they go for. The good thing with Vultr is that it is priced on an hourly basis. So even though that's shown monthly, you'll see how much it costs on an hourly basis. Vultr gives $300 of free credit for anyone that wants to try the platform. If you want to use it, test a few things, I think $300 will last about 3 months. Will last about 2 months. You have to confirm that with sales, and once you add your credit card, they will add the Vultr credit to your account. That's for new accounts. And then The last one that I want to talk about is Kamatera. And Kamatera, let's look at that. How much for the VPSs? So if you come here, let's go to products, look at cloud servers. Those are the VPSs. So here you can customize your VPS, or you can go with any of these other available options. All right? Or you can customize your VPS. Maybe you want 2 virtual cores, you want 4 GB of RAM. That's how much it's going to cost you. And you can also decide the type of server that you want. You can get dedicated servers. That's how much it's going to cost you. All right. So all in all, the cheapest VPSs I can say on this list are Netcup, Hetzner, and Contabo, and Vultr as well. If you're looking for a place to get started, why not come to pricing? I think we're already in pricing. You'll see that you can get a server even for $250 just for small workloads. If you have a small blog that you want to host, don't go and host it on a managed platform where you're paying $10 a month. Come to Vultr, get yourself this server, install HTTP, run your WordPress on that for $3.50 per month. All right, that should end this video. I'm going to add all the links in the description for this video. Also, if you need Linux server support, maybe you buy a Linux server, you want to host something on it and you don't know how to do so, you can always go to bizanosa.com. We will help you sort it out. You can check our pricing for the different Linux server support services. We have VPS support, dedicated server support. All right, just come here and check what we can do for you. And if you have any questions, always go to contact. There are multiple ways to reach us. We will always reply back to you. See you next time in another video.